All right, guys. In this one, we're going to try to calm everybody down after the crazy tier 3 drop. The video and the community post kind of both blew up with a lot of concerned comments. A lot of people seem to think this means you can basically skip tier 1, tier 2, or like tier 1, tier 2 don't matter at all now, when that's not really true. Video is sponsored by my Patreon people. Thank you very much. Let's go take a look at this. Alright guys, well you see the way this game works is you can't skip tier 1, you can't skip tier 2. Essentially, in order to access tier 2 Chaos Dungeons, Guardian Raids, any of that kind of stuff to start gearing up tier 2, you must complete the tier 2 storyline first. In order to do the tier 2 storyline, you must get to the 600 gear score. So you still have to do the same exact process that you would have had to do. The only difference now is like once you get there, you don't have to wait around for tier 2 if you don't want. You can keep going. Maybe your primary difference is going to be like you're not going to spend a lot of time trying to maximize and get the best engravings that you can on your accessories and your stone down here, right? Because that would be a waste of resources, you know? You're just going to focus, and you're probably not going to worry about, caring as much about crafting the higher sets of the gear, maybe, right? Like, you're just going to try to get to the 600 so you can move on. But you also don't even have to do that if you don't want to. We are over at the Guardian Raid board, so I can show you another example of how, like, this content is not just like wasted and lost now. You can't skip it. It's still fun, good content. The Guardian Raid fights are good and fun, and you have to do them. If we come over here, right, because I don't have a lot of friends in RU, I kind of stopped around here. It starts to get pretty difficult to keep soloing stuff. And you can see here, like, I can't do this tier until I finish these ones, right? So like I have to go back here, I have to finish him, and I have to finish him if I want to progress on to the tiers. So like there is no, you just get to skip the tiers now. Like, you have to do them. Let's talk about some more stuff. Is it pointless now? Is it all pointless now? I would say a big fat no. How many times have I talked about stuff like these, the island hearts? You're gonna have to do island exploration if you want the skill points. You want to be strong in tier 3, you have to have the skill points. My class video yesterday showed, right, that like engravings and skill points and all that stuff actually makes like a more significant difference than just your gear score. I didn't lower my gear score at all in that fight, and it went from horrible to amazing without changing my gear score at all by changing, the skill points and the tripods and the engravings and all that stuff. And you're going to gain those things through doing like all kinds of side system activities. I'd also really like to point out that this game does not work the way a game like World of Warcraft does, right? Like when you get your expansion and all of the corruptions you worked on for the entire BFA expansion, they're just thrown in the garbage, right? And they literally are worthless. This game doesn't do that to you. In this game, not only are all of your side systems account-wide, across the whole server to help and boost all of your characters, but you also have the, added benefit of them not getting replaced. They build and build on top of them. Those tier 1 skill points that you're gonna gain from doing things like tier 1 island explorations and giant hearts and stuff, like, you need those skill points still in tier 3, right? The engravings you're going to get, the tier 1 engraving books, so that you can put them into your, your character thing over here and be able to slot them in, like these books. These are massive still, and you have to get the tier 1 book before you can do the tier 2 book and before you can do the tier 3 book to be able to slot the more and more points in over here, right, to open up your engravings. So, right, like, the stuff is not wasted in this game because they don't do this game like a standard MMO where you just throw everything in the... I don't know if all MMOs do it, but I know it's been WoW's big problem, right? Like, cool systems get added, you work the entire expansion on the systems, and then they throw it in the garbage. So it makes sense maybe why people coming from WoW think that's the case here, but it's not the case here. The systems are shared by all your characters, and they build upon each other. You've got to do the tier 1 ones and get all these side awesome systems in order to be strong in tier 3 at all. All right, so now I have popped over onto my striker because my striker is kind of in the beginning of tier 2, you know, gaining his stuff. And let's say, you know, in ours it's called Phaeton in that update thing, right? But it's telling me here on my guide thing, if I want to go any farther in the tier 2 story, I have to hit the 960. And then there is an entire, like, another chunk of the main story that I must complete. And then I have to get my gear score all the way to 1100 before I can even open up the ability to start the tier 3 main story. And then you must complete the tier 3 main story to be allowed to even do the Chaos Dungeons, the Guardian Raids and stuff to start getting that gear up. So again, I'm just kind of trying to show you here that there is nothing is skipped, lost, and wasted really. The main thing that's going to happen with tier 2 is the tripod gems, right? Again, you're probably not going to waste your time this time. I'm not going to waste a lot of time and resources worrying about maximizing your engravings on the right side here. You're just going to have to do the gear score part. And the tripod gems will be another thing where, like, you can re-roll the stats on these. Just don't waste too much silver re-rolling your stats on these while you're in tier 2, because you know, like, that you don't have to wait for tier 3. It's already there. And tier 3 is where you should start really trying to maximize these and get them really awesome. They're just another way to modify your skills, add more damage and such to them. It's you know, cool, another cool little system. So guys, in summary here, like, there's really not too much awful stuff. Like, especially if you're a normal casual player, you're probably not even really gonna notice this. The main difference here, this stuff is really gonna affect your min-maxers. The min-maxers who are concerned with rushing to 50 like and get into tier 3 because tier 3 is gonna earn them a bit more gold, right? And they want to start market domination, all this stuff that, like, normal players probably don't even think about. Probably because I'm more of a normal player and I literally don't give a shit like how well someone else is doing in the market economy in the game, right? Like, I don't care, right? I kind of care how I'm doing in real life market, but I don't care at all about, like, market domination inside of a game as a normal player. Again, thank you so much to my Patreon supporters who helped me be able to do this. If you appreciated this video, maybe hit me with that like, comment, and a subscribe. I would appreciate it back, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.